Hi, Michael. Before we look at the weekend, I was just going to sort of wonder, how's the week been? And just looking back to last week, how important from your time here, but also from your playing days, how important are those wins that in games that take a bit of winning?
All games take a bit of winning. Yeah, of course it's important. I thought we played some really good football for the majority of the game. Actually, felt we probably should have been another goal up to make it that little bit easier. But as I said, credit to Millwall. We know they're a really good team, and they don't get beaten very easily. So we had to do a bit of everything to come through it. And when we did come through it in the way we did with a clean sheet, defended, had to see it out towards the end. Give everyone a good feeling that we kind of had earned it in the end. And but for long spells, I was delighted. I thought we played some really, really good football, defended well, pressed well, won the ball back quickly, and looked towards the team like we want to look like.
Before the sort of deep tactical side of things, just how much is everyone looking forward to this weekend's big game?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Listen, we understand the game that it is. Derby game, you know, both of us playing well for the supporters, for the clubs. It's a terrific game to be involved in and to look forward to. For us in the bubble of having to put the processes of getting a performance, then you got to pull yourself away from that a little bit. Use the emotion, of course, use the energy, use that bit of excitement going into a game. But then at the same point, we, you know, especially for the players and myself, you know, we got jobs to do. We got roles to fill and putting things in place to be ready for the game and to have that clarity of thinking and be calm under all the surrounding atmosphere. So it is slightly different when you're in it to when you're sitting in the stands.
Absolutely, you've got a lot of experience of different high-level derbies. So what's best? Do you play the team or the occasion?
It's just a game of football. It's a game of football at the end of the day. Yeah, there's maybe a bit more noise, different spikes of energy within the game because of the noise in the atmosphere and maybe the bit of tension from the outside. But it's still a game of football. You play the team, you play the game in front of you, and that'll never change.
What do you expect from Sunderland?
Sunderland are a very good team. Got a very good forward line. I know Ahmad very well from United. Terrific footballer. He seems to have jumped up a level again over the course of the season. His performance has improved, and he is a threat. And of course, across the front line, really good individuals that can change games at any moment and cause you problems. And you know, that's why they're up there and playing well, and they're a danger. So of course, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, and it's one we're ready for, and we're looking forward to the game.
Things obviously going very well on the pitch at the moment, but throughout the month of January, you've got the other thing of the transfer window. Any updates? Anything in, out? What's going on?
No updates really until there's any news to confirm anything. Then there's nothing to update you on. Of course, there's work going on to try and improve us as a group of players, as a squad, as a club. But that's just natural. That works never stops. But at the moment, there's nothing else to tell you.
How do you feel at the moment? Is it sort of quiet satisfaction, or do you not have the time to have those sort of emotions?
Got nothing to be satisfied yet. No, it's work in progress. You know, we're trying to get better. We're trying to improve. We're doing work on the training ground in the meeting rooms to try and help each other and get better as a group. So there's definitely nothing to be satisfied with just yet.
You've obviously enjoyed high-profile derbies, Manchester derbies, North London derbies. Is there not a little bit, if you went on the training pitch this week, you put that little bit extra in when you're preparing for a Weir derby?
Oh, you can put extra in, and it shows that you're not doing enough for the games before it. So it's normal. It's another game. Of course, we appreciate there's a bit on it, and rightly so. Love local derbies. Love the rivalry, the healthy rivalry, and you know, families going to the game, sometimes supporting the different teams. I know it doesn't happen very much, but there will be the odd one, and I think that's the beauty of the local rivalries. And but in terms of preparing for the game, as I said before, you know, as professionals, we got a job to do. We got roles to fill, and I think our pride from game to game shows us and demands that we're prepared the same and do similar to what we've been doing. We have to prepare for a certain type of game, certain things within the game we've got to be ready for, but really it doesn't change the amount of time or effort that we put into the game.
You mentioned the forward line. Both teams have got forward lines enjoying good spells at the moment. Not so many goals for yourselves coming from other parts of the pitch, behind the strikers. Is that something you're looking to improve on?
Always looking to improve. Yeah, we want to score more goals. Every team in the world wants to score more goals, and it would be ideal if you could share them and everyone chipped in and everyone scored. There's the balance with that, of course, and what we're asking certain players to do and what positions to fill and what we expect from them. So as long as in general what we see is the performances and the boys attempting to do what we see is the right things, and whoever scores. If we're winning, fantastic. But it's not the be all and end all of who and how they score.
And looking at Sunderland, obviously Ross Stewart gets a lot of the headlines there. Have you made any, looking to pay any special attention to keep him quiet? Bearing in mind he missed that the game at the Riverside. Yeah,
listen, of course, like any other game, we respect and we appreciate the challenges that we face, and we'll definitely do work towards stopping their threat. That's pretty obvious, and they'll be doing something similar the other way. It's how much you change, how much you tweak. The boys are aware of obviously their players, their threats, like we are every week, and we'll go into it confident, looking forward to the game, and that's the challenge that we're going to enjoy.
Cheers.
Obviously, Michael, going into the game, you talk about needing that kind of professionalism, that clarity, and only channeling the atmosphere in the right way. From your experiences when you were playing, is that easy to do? Can you just block it out?
Of course, it's not easy to do. No, not everyone can do it. That's why some play well in certain games and some don't in others. I'm not saying it's easy to do by any stretch. I'm not saying I found it always easy or it always worked as a player, because that's football. We're humans. That's the human element. We're not robots, and that's why we love the game so much, because it's unpredictable. But at the same point, you got to go in with the right intentions.
Yeah, and in that sense, now as a head coach, is that a case of monitoring the players, monitoring the team, and trying to get those messages across to make sure they are in that right frame of mind?
Just like every other game, whether it's what people might see as an ordinary league game is definitely not an ordinary league game. We might have to raise our motivation levels and spike that in certain ways. Other times you got to calm things down, because it's a big game that people need to save the energy, mental energy, physical energy. That's just a constant balance of managing the emotions within the squad.
Yeah, and I guess in that respect, experienced players will help with things like game management. People like Johnny Howson, who will know when to maybe settle things, etc. They'll be important players in games like this.
Yeah, of course, experience is important. It's not everything, because sometimes the inexperience goes in fresh and have not been through it, so maybe he's not been scarred, so not suffered. So sometimes that freshness helps you. But of course, experience helps, seeing it before, knowing what works, maybe what to do at certain situations, and you got to draw on that at the right time.
Yeah, just how are you looking on the injury front for the game? Is there any update on Darren as well?
Not on any update at this time. We're still waiting, so he's not really been involved with us yet, so we don't really know how that's going to go yet.
So unlikely for the weekend then, isn't it?
We'll just have to wait and see, but he hasn't been with us yet, so we'll see.
Just on the transfer front, obviously you mentioned that you're always still working away. Would you say, I think about a week and a half left, I think that's right, would you say you would expect that you will still get more in before the end of the transfer window?
I don't think I could sit here and expect anything in January transfer window. It's not about just what we want and what we're looking to do. There's obviously other parties and people involved in that, and there's two sides to every kind of transfer or loan or whatever. So you never know, or you can never predict what to expect. But yeah, certainly we've got options that we're exploring, and we'll see what comes at the end of it. We're trying to do the right thing, but we've got a way of doing things, and we know quite clearly what we want and how we want to improve. So we're quite calm about the situation.
Yeah, and hypothetically, if it didn't work out and none of the targets you had in mind managed to come in at this point, you know, presumably going ahead, you're still happy, you know, things are going well on the pitch, you're happy with that squad?
Of course, yeah. I think got no reason to think any otherwise. I think that everyone who's played done great. Training's been unbelievable. I'll be honest. The way that the spirit in the group and the energy and the willingness to learn and the standard of training is going up all the time. And I'm delighted with the squad we have at this moment in time. So I trust all the players 100%, and we need to have that between now and the end of the season.
Just last one from me. We saw you this week at Teesside Uni with part of the foundation and your own foundation handing out boots. I believe that's something you've done previously as well. I just wondered if you'd like to talk about that and, you know, that initiative. Yeah,
so we've obviously my own foundation, Michael Carrick Foundation. We've been going 5 years now, and for 4 years of it, we call it what was called the Carrick's Boot Room, and it's unwanted boots, old boots, or boots that just don't fit anymore. We collect them, as many as we can, and give them out to disadvantaged children, underprivileged children that maybe don't have the chance to get them, and come along to our sessions in the past that we do in Manchester and we've done in the North East, and then obviously teamed up with Middlesbrough Community Foundation to do that here as well. And it was brilliant to get down to the university and see the young people down there and hand the boots out, but see them enjoying themselves, and you know, it's amazing, you know, to see that, and I'm a big believer in giving young people a chance and for them to feel equal and a sense of belonging when they go to somewhere like that. So to have this right equipment and feel that part of it is huge. So it's quite rewarding to go down there, and the support that we had from both the club and from the EFL was fantastic.
I know Mark asked you about it briefly after the game on Saturday, but with Dara, there'd be no temptation to replace him, to try and get someone in this month?
No, I think you can look at it different ways. I think just because you've got someone who might be out for a period of a few weeks, to bring someone in, you've then got another player when they become fit. So it's not always the answer just to bring somebody else in. The balance and the dynamics of the squad are so important to me and my staff of keeping that right. So it's got to be the right one. It wouldn't be a knee jerk just because of that. Yeah, of course, if it's long term, then it's a different story. But other than that, it's we're pretty calm about things.
And just on that, how's Matt Clark? Is he any closer?
No, he's been training, Clark. He's and then he's had a couple of little mini setbacks. So we're monitoring that at the moment. And I said to you for a number of weeks now about being patient, really, and not rushing him. It's not an easy injury to kind of manage or come back from, or straightforward, should I say. So we're patient with him, and we're just seeing how it goes.
You mentioned Ahmad there, and how impressed you've been with him this year. Obviously, you know him well. How do you contain him on Sunday? That's
a challenge, you know. He's a good player. Ahmad, he's real talented, really smooth on the ball, and he's got a lovely feel for how he takes the ball and sharp and injection and see space very well. And obviously, I know him. I've seen him very closely. Yeah, he's not easy to stop. Of course, he's not, because he's one of the better players. But that's just a challenge, and another one that we face kind of every week of different little scenarios. So we'll do our work to be ready.
Had you been here in the summer, would you have tried to bring him here?
If important, it doesn't really make any difference.
Just on loans, Rodrigo obviously wasn't involved the weekend. Do you expect Fulham to recall him before the end of the month?
Again, if they expect January, other clubs involved, other people involved, players involved. You can never expect anything. I think you've got to be open-minded at this time of year and see what falls, especially with loan players, ins and outs. As I said, it's not always just our opinion that is the final word, so we'll just have to see on various things like that.
And there's been various reports that Fulham have been speaking to this club and that club. How's he been throughout it all, day to day?
Rodrigo's been great. He's trained fantastically well. Actually, he's a really nice lad, and he's trained well. So it's one of those things. And you got a squad and you got good options. Unfortunately, at some point, some players play a bit more than others, and some players play a bit less. And it's something we're conscious of, and we've been conscious of trying to improve that. That's the constant balance that we face.
Matthew, obviously you talked about him last week and how impressed you've been with his character. He got the American call-up this week. How big a boost is that for him, a confidence boost?
Yeah, it'll be a big boost, and I think it's deserved. I think obviously slightly different kind of international one to what we're probably used to over this side of the world, but nevertheless two good games for him to go and play a part in, and definitely wouldn't stand in his way for that, because I think it's important for him to do that for his own experience and his own step in the game, for his own career. So I'm delighted for him.
And just finally, I watched the interview with Jimmy Floyd when he was here this week, and you talked about kind of learning from previous managers, Sir Alex, and speaking to them. What about players who you play with? Because it's kind of a group of you who went into management at similar times, yourself, Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney. Are you in contact? Do you speak to each other and almost bounce ideas off?
I speak to Wayne, yeah. I'm good friends with Wayne, so I speak to him. A little bit different now with the time difference, but I do. I do speak to him, and I've known Frank an awful long time. I've known him since I was 13, 14 at West Ham. So and we were on the pro licence together 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, of course, I wouldn't say always you speak every week and discuss things, but we're always there for each other for sure.
And I guess it's helpful that you're doing well at the minute. Frank might be struggling, obviously. Gerrard lost his job at Villa, but is it helpful in that case when things might be going well, things might not be going well, to have someone to go to and to talk to like that?
Yeah, I think we all understand the business and the role now, and how it can be going well. That's why we're not getting too carried away here, because we know what football is and what can be round the corner. So I'm not sitting here in our position thinking we're any better than the rest. We got to be humble and understand that we need to keep doing the right things. Of course, when other managers and coaches are having a tough time, it's not always nice to see, and you wish them well. Of course I do, and that's the nature of the game, and I think we all understand what we're in.
Thank you, brilliant.
Rob, have you got a couple just before we go to Sundays?
Yeah. We've obviously been doing tremendously well away from home, especially recently. Is this a different sort of challenge in the fact that we're 45,000 fans, and although we'll be trying to sing as well as we can, there's only 2,000 of us tucked away at the top of the stadium, so we will maybe, as away fans, play as big a part as at Blackburn and Birmingham, for instance.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll feel it. I'm sure the boys will feel the support. I think we can't help but feel the support, and I think that because of the support we've had over recent months since I've been here, that's more than just that extra bit of noise maybe off a few more in a certain stadium. I think it's more the belief and the connection that we're building at the moment that means more. And whether there was 200, if that was what we had 200, I think we would still feel the support in general from the full fan base, because that's the feeling we have at the moment.
And although you got to play this down as being another game, I'm sure we were discussing between ourselves before, and there's
trying to do my job.
So that's the point, that you can go back and there's names sort of linked to this fixture, like John Hickton, Jamie Pollock, Emerson, who all scored fantastic goals against Sunderland, and fans remember them forevermore. So there's a chance to become like immortal in a way from this match.
Yeah, there's a chance. That's the beauty about football, though, isn't it? Well, I think that's the result of how we go about our performance, really. How we go about preparing for the game, how we go about trying to win the game, and half by half, what it takes to do that. Can't think of what's at the end while you're going through it. You got to make or control, as I said last week. You got to control what we can control, and that is this week and the game. And then whatever happens after the game, if there's headlines in the right reasons for us, fantastic, unbelievable, we can celebrate, enjoy it. But up until that point, that's not something that we'll be thinking about.